Britney Spears and her mother are back in the news again, and I just can't help but think about the huge red flags that Lynne Spears put up for me as a survivor of a narcissistic mother and someone who coaches them. What am I talking about? Usually when we talk about Lynne Spears being a really toxic part of Britney's life, we're usually talking about the conservatorship or her trying to force Britney into treatment. But for me, there's actually one huge glaring red flag that's even bigger than that. And it is this: the social media posts that Lynne Spears makes every time there's drama between her and Britney. Let me explain what I mean. Literally every time there is some big breakdown or conflict in this family between Britney and the people who kept her locked up in a conservatorship, Lynne likes to go to social media and make posts, usually directly to Britney. And these posts always say things like, "Oh, woe is me. I have always done my best by you, Britney. I have always done what I can. I just don't understand why you won't let us be a family." And here's why that's a huge red flag to me as someone who had a narcissistic mother and someone who coaches people with narcissistic mothers. These posts serve a purpose, and they aren't great ones. Number one, they are clearly meant to get beyond boundaries that Britney has obviously set. Maybe she's blocked phone numbers. Maybe she's blocked mutual friends and family members that have come to her on behalf of her mother. And so her mother, going to a huge worldwide public audience, knows that she will get beyond those boundaries, right? Because Britney's going to be asked by reporters. She's going to get hounded on social media. She's going to get tagged in a million billion articles, and her PR people are going to have to reply, right? So by her mother making these appeals, she essentially sends an army of flying monkeys after Britney, which violates her boundaries. But these posts also help set a narrative, right? Because we've had Britney herself tell us that her mother was involved in the conservatorship, that her mother has been involved in so much of this misery that's gone on in her life. We've seen her mother try to get her thrown in treatment against her will, yada, yada, yada. We have all these horror stories out there. But by showing herself holding on to her dear child's artifacts on a huge public stage in front of people, she gets to kind of counter that narrative, doesn't she? And it's always performative. It's always with the most romanticized images, with her painted as this like loving woman. She's often shot from like angles that make her look smaller, more demure. And it's a way to kind of emotionally tug at Britney's heartstrings. It's a roundabout way to gaslight her and these boundaries, this no contact that she set up with her family. Which we know is something that Lynne Spears enjoys doing, right? Like this time she just showed up on Britney's doorstep, even though she shouldn't have known where Britney lived. She should have known that they were no contact. She should have respected the boundaries. And anyone with a narcissistic mother will know this story well. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Lynne Spears had something to do with this recent tabloid explosion with Britney? Do you think that they will ever be able to repair their relationship? Or do you think that Lynne is just too toxic? Let me know in the comments and follow for more.